Welcome to the 2014 European Challenger Series, brought to you thanks in part by our friends at Coca-Cola. I'm David Freak Turley, alongside my buddy, my pal, my friend, my guy, Sam Kobe Hartman Kensler. How's it going?
It's going very well, Freak. I'm happy. We had a good little break here for Katowice, and now we're back on.
Yeah, we got a Polish team here as well, so we're keeping it all in the theme going on. Got 4 games left. Now we're up to the semifinals. Let's see how it's shaping up with the bracket. We're kicking off the semifinals of the second Spring Challenger Series right now with a best-of-3 between Never Give Up, formerly known as Osomniac, and Departed. Now, both teams looking to advance to their first Challenger Finals.
And hanging out down below in the bracket is tomorrow's matchup between the Ninjas in Pajamas and Reason Gaming.
So let's check out the all-important point standings. That's what matters. The top 6 playoff teams are set for the Summer Promotion Tournament, though after first place, the order is yet to be determined, with another bye in the actual playoffs up for grabs.
And that's because one of the byes already belongs to NIP, who tiptoed past Cloud9 Eclipse with their quarterfinal win over Gamers 2 and are sitting comfortably on top with a minimum of 14 points. Cloud9 Eclipse is waiting in the sidelines with the 11 points, and they're going to be rooting for NIP to actually win this Series 2 title, since that's the only way that they're going to get that first round bye.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it or someone else is going to grab the top 2 here. Now, remember, you can always check out the latest on the Challenger Series simply by going to lolesports.com.
You'll find all of the stats, scores, and schedules under the Leagues and Tournaments tab near the top of the page.
Now let's get to today's best-of-3 semifinal showdown. Never Give Up versus Departed. Now, last time we saw Never Give Up, they beat Steve Bakes Cookies 2-1.
Yeah, in that set, Never Give Up bounced back from a game. They actually lost the first game. So they bounced back, and then they won 2 straight elimination games to take home the victory. Their top laner, Morsu, loves to play carry top laners. I'm a big fan of that. And with the Dorian Shields nerfs, I think it's going to be a lot more viable for him, too. So we'll have to see if he can play well in this tournament here. But his most impressive game was 8-1-1. He had the score. And that was as Lee Sin. So maybe he'll be returning to that champion. That was against Steve Bakes Cookies in the top lane. But the star carry is also a pretty big bright spot for them, Riddix. The team's #1 strategy is just get him ahead and then never look back. Let him carry the entire thing from there. In Game 3 versus SBC, they created a shield composition with a mid lane Orianna and a support Lulu, just to give more shields to the AD carry and put more of their hopes all on him. And both of those champions, though, they definitely supplemented Draven's AD as well. So it's a pretty good strategy. Very old strategy, kind of like Counter Logic Gaming.
Yeah, bunch of supports
2-esque.
and an AD carry.
Yeah.
Just have them throw things at people. Works out pretty well. Now, of course, gearing up on the other side of the rift is Departed. Now, they're actually heavy favorites. They're coming into the match off a brilliant quarterfinal sweep. They 2-0'd Cloud9 Eclipse. Pretty strong team.
Yeah, and with the addition of Babunya in the top lane and Perm at support, Departed's new roster changes have been vital to the team's success. Babunya is an outright beast. Even though Cloud9 Eclipse hit him with gank after gank up in that top lane, he still came back after that rough early game, and he was able to have a big impact in later game teamfights. And he got to those high-priority targets at the back line. In most of the matches, he was actually able to muscle his way all the way through the team there, too. You know, preferring things like Mundo and Trundle. And another player to watch is the AD carry, Woolite. His positioning in the team fights really does shine, and he won a combined 15-2 and 17 on Lucian in 2 quarterfinal games.
Yeah, 4 games on Lucian so far in this series.
He's just all Lucian.
All Lucian all the time. We'll see if it goes away. Riddix, big Draven player. We'll see if they get banned out. Now, we've been talking about the teams, but let's get personal. Here's a closer look at the AD carries in our featured matchup of the day. Riddix versus... and I'm blanking now.
Woolite?
Woolite, there we go. It's not on the screen, and I immediately can't say it anymore.
It's all about Riddix Draven play. We talked about the Lucian play for Woolite. Riddix does the same thing with Draven, over and over, picking the same champion. He had a spectacular series, actually. The Challenger Series has him at 26, 6, and 16. On Draven. As for the Departed, it's Woolite that you're going to want to keep your eyes on in both of the games versus Cloud9 Eclipse. He turned to Lucian, and he had much success. Wow, with an overall rating of 28 and 100. That's definitely a typo. And 13 assists.
I'm going to go with that one,
Yeah, they put 113. That's not going to happen. Both AD carries do like to play aggressive in the laning phase, too. If we see this Lucian-Draven matchup, that's an exciting one, because both of them have very high power early game, and it's going to turn a lot to the supports.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny to watch the supports as well, because for NGU, their support, The only like meta support that he plays is Thresh. He's not playing a lot of Annie, not playing a lot of Leona, and he's like playing entirely peel supports. Like support Lulu 4 games, support Janna one time around. He's just there to get Riddick's going, and I want to see how it changes because this is the first time Challenger's being played on 4.3. As we saw in the EU CS, Karma's big now. All the poke supports are back in, and I want to see if that's going to affect these guys' champion pools.
Right. So Doran shields are nerfed, and the Spell Thieves is super buffed. So it definitely favors ranged supports now. Anybody who can do a lot of poke damage. And it's been, like you said, a very shield-heavy team there for Never Give Up. Meanwhile, the bottom lane has been very aggressive with a lot of Annie picks for Departed. So Lucian Annie, a really big combo for them.
Yeah, so you're seeing the Annie banned away. Exactly. It makes a lot of sense. And think about Departed's bans, right? Top lane Lee Sin getting banned away. Top lane Jax banned away. Jax, by the way, banned in all 3 quarterfinal matches against NGU. And, of course, Riddick's Raven gone. So Departed first pick Lulu. They take that away from Masterwork as well. They had their homework set up for this one. Yeah,
so Lee Sin and Jax, both sort of top lane bans right there. Maybe we won't be able to see the carry top laners, but there's still stuff like Aatrox out there.
Irelia is a big one too.
Exactly. But yeah, first pick Lulu. Everybody's a fan of that. I don't know how many times I've had to say this, but man, is she strong in the mid lane right now. Offers so much for the rest of the team, and she can make really strong early game roams. We've seen especially Link on her. Once you shove that wave with Glitterlance, make your way to one of the side lanes. As long as you can keep track of the vision that the other team has, then it's going to turn out well for you.
Yeah, we'll see what else these guys can go for then. With the picks coming through for Never Give Up, looks like the hovers on Gragas and Wukong are going to pull through right here. So Lasagna going to get his choice of the litter, goes for a damage jungler with a nice bunch of bursts from the mid lane as well.
I'm actually pretty surprised, with all the focus on bot lane and top lane in this game. A lot of junglers get through. The only one not getting through who's not surprised there is Kha'Zix. He is a beast right now. Definitely very high priority. So we still actually have an Evelynn versus Wukong matchup here. That's interesting because Lulu already very strong early game. Evelynn is going to supplement that spectacularly. They can actually roam together even for more impactful ganks.
What's surprising to me as well is the fact that Elise is going to go entirely through the champ select process. It's such a rare sight.
This is pre-nerf Elise. We're only on 4.3 here.
4.3 Elise, plenty scary, but they're going to be fine with this one. So support Morgana coming through as well for Perm. Now, of course, she is really good with the Frost Queen's claim. I forget the entire build-up to
Spell
it now.
Thieves.
Spell Thieves Edge. I don't know why I forget all of the names of everything, but apparently not my day-to-day. But yeah, I'm not going for the aggressive support, so a very peel-based support right there. Wulite, known to play Lucian. Riddick might steal this one away, though, and block the pick. And as well, like, support Zillion for Masterwork. So a lot of new stuff coming through on both sides.
Yeah, interesting. Support Zillion here. I think the bush control down in the bottom lane is going to be pretty big, too, because Zillion can add speed, and Lucian has already a pretty easy time of dodging bindings. But he might not even have to use his dash if he's got a Zillion support who can speed him up. Pretty slow-moving projectile, but it does have a very big hitbox, and if you can shoot it from one of those side bushes, then you have a really, really good chance of hitting it. And as Doublelift says, if one of those things lands, then you're going to lose the trade, and you're going to have to burn something big.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can hold up against this one. As a minor point, by the way, if Saber does get locked in, once the bomb is on your head, you can't spell shield it anymore. You've got to spell shield the application of the bomb, which is rather difficult.
I started cracking up because when I'm playing like Nocturne Jungle and I come in and I put the fear tether down, then they try and spell shield when the fear is going to proc, but it's already on you.
Yep, used to do that, for what it's worth.
So yeah, you can't do that. Same thing with the bomb there. And it's going to be the Jinx down there comboed with Morgana. So they're going to be relying on Black Shield for her defense. Going to have to be quick with those because it's a great defense for the Wukong ulti, but you also are going to have to watch out for Gragas barrels. If your Jinx gets hit by a Gragas barrel and into a bad spot, then there's no repositioning for her. So you need to be quick with those Black Shields.
It's going to be important to watch for. At least during the laning phase, you can block time bombs for a while. So you can take a little less damage.
You can block some of the damage, but...
Block the damage. I mean, there's worse things could happen to you. So Departed's comp I find is actually kind of interesting. So you've got a lot of actually backline safety for the Jinx with the Morgana and the Lulu in there. So I think she's pretty well set up to survive and thrive in team fights. Never give up, though. They do go for the top lane Irelia there. It's going to be Morsu's second time in this series on this champion. And she's going to have a fun time just trying to farm up against Trundle, be a late game threat.
Yeah, I like this because we talked about he prefers top lane carry champions. Aurelia is amazing, especially versus Trundle. She can just build offensively. We've seen, Wicked a lot of the times building lots of attack speed items and even Sheen and stuff, and just go extremely offensively oriented. And she can bully Trundle out of lane. It's gonna have to be watching out for that Evelynn at all times, though. So I have to see how that changed the dynamics of the lane.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit interesting. Now, I suppose I'm thinking about like those ganks though. Can you talk about Trundle and Evelynn together there because there's not a lot of crazy crowd control there. Like you've got Evelynn can run up and like start putting damage on you, but basically you get low on Aurelia, you just stun somebody and peace out. I feel like unless she gets caught with a really good pillar, I feel like Aurelia is okay in that matchup and can kind of sit there and farm forever.
I mean, it's going to take a big chunk out of your life either way.
True.
And she can only take so many of those. So I still think it is dangerous because, like we said, she'll probably be building more offensively even than usual. So it's going to be up to his play. He's been talked up as a really strong mechanical player, and he likes to play offensively. So we'll see how he does handle the aggression. Anytime you're playing up against an Evelynn jungle, it's almost a completely different game, and you have to worry so much more about the pink ward coverage and your team's ability to get green wards inside the camps. Like, it's not even on the top laner anymore to be able to ward for his lane. It's like, I need my jungler to invade their jungle, find out where Evelynn is, and then I can play aggressively.
Yeah, and so kind of thinking about this as well, like if Aurelia gets behind, the only way she gets health back is by hitting minions. So she has to be in melee range, in bite range, in pillar range, and gank range to do anything in that lane at all. Whereas like if Trundle falls behind, at least he can regen off his passive and just kind of be around and gain experience. So yeah, if he does fall behind, if Aurelia does fall behind, then it's going to be a really rough situation where he's got to get a bunch of help, get Wukong in there, who's also not a great early game ganker, right? Like Wukong Aurelia is going to have a pretty hard time killing Trundle, I feel. And so there's a little bit to be worried about in that lane. Now the mid lane, we'll talk about that one. Lulu versus Gragas. Pretty much a lane we've seen before. We saw Peke have an amazing Gragas game from Fnatic earlier today. Maybe we get that one coming through. But of course, Lulu, first pick for a reason, great champion.
Yeah, she's just a bully. Very, very annoying to play against. Lots of speed ups too. That's going to help out with Evelynn. But talking about amazing Gragas play at Katowice, did you see Hai's kill onto Caitlyn? Who was it? Who was he playing against? It was a Fnatic, so it must have been Reckless, right? Oh my God, it was beautiful.
I didn't see it.
He set up a regular barrel by his feet, and Reckless like, he just moves out of the way, and then he ults him over it, and as he's flying by, pops the first barrel, and he dies.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing stuff. I love seeing those happen. I like the explosive cast kind of body slams. You can get them halfway. You slow them down, so when they stop getting pushed around, you can just chase them down. Those are always really fun moves to go for.
I'm happy that like everyone's embracing the flash combined with different dash spells too. And Gragas is definitely a premier champion to use that combo on because everybody's seen all of the body slam and then flash maybe in a weird direction or something like that. Scar is a pretty big fan of that one too in North America.
Yeah.
But everybody, even across the other side, has been using that.
Dude, Pekka had one today that was like, I didn't think it could even reach that far.
He's got a big belly though.
Yeah,
you just have to flash kind of close.
And just it extends it briefly and then it stretches back and he's okay. But yeah, and I love the champions that are like that where not only
have big bellies.
Yes, I love the big belly champions. Urgot's another big favorite of mine. Just big and bloated, whatever. It's fine. But not only because they're flashy and really fun to play, and I mean they're awesome, they're fun in that regard, but also because
that was not on purpose.
No, I'm just that good. They come out on their own. But also because a champion like Gragas has, even if you're doing horribly. Like, you can still have those perfect barrels that, like, set things up. Like a Nivea, right? Like, you could be 0-20 Nivea and have a game-changing wall.
As long as you can look cool even if you're behind.
Yeah, as long as you can make a good play, like, you have the ability to come back and do something for your team.
Right. Well, we are waiting a little bit because a couple of people are patching. We are on the new patch now. Well, it's not the new patch. It's new for Challenger.
4.3.
4.3 is new for Challenger. This is the first European broadcast for Challenger. That's going to be on 4.3. We're not on the live, though.
No.
That 4.4. So these are those Doran's nerfs, and as we already went over.
Doran Shield nerfs, Kale changes, GP10 changes. Those are the bigger ones ultimately, and of course the champions already picked up. Cassidy nerf still got banned in most of the games we saw. We saw him go through a couple of times. I don't think it's like... I'm not looking at it like, oh my God, guys, by the way, Cassidy got through. Like, we're okay with that now.
Yeah.
But that's been happening. Yeah, I did have a connection issue that I believe in real time we've solved and are going forward, but we cast off a delay here in Challenger so that people don't like ghost the streams or anything. So, everyone's gonna be fine. We'll get into the game really soon. Probably
tip break.
Oh, whatever. They already know, right? Because you'll kill the Nexus, and then you can go load the stream and watch us talk about how you just won the game for your team. We do that for the players.
They can relive that winning moment
immediately. I was actually talking, I think it was the Insomniac manager, which is now Never Give Up. I got home, and he's like, yeah, we're actually watching through the games right now. Oh, I really liked when you called this fight. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And he's like just telling me about the commentary because he's watching the games again.
Nice.
I don't know. I find those really interesting. But, of course, you can tell the players taking their time, watching their own games, making sure they're good to go. And, I mean, for these teams, they haven't played in 3 weeks.
It's true.
Because
they've played.
Well,
yeah.
sorry, I guess 2 weeks. I take that back. Yeah, they haven't played for 2 weeks there because the other quarterfinal was played last week. And yeah, because we're only doing two quarterfinals at a time, so they've had a long time to prepare. This is going to be their first official match for Challenger Series on this patch, though. So they've got to kind of both teams have their own set of prep they've gone through. Like they've learned new champions and new builds because of the changes, and now they've got to put them out there again and try again and see what works. And of course, we saw the same bands come through here, bands that we expected because the champions they'd like to play. But at the same time, we saw new stuff come out because of the Morgana, right? And the Zillion coming through that are new for these guys.
Yeah, no Draven, I'm sad.
Yeah, it got banned, though. So it's like, okay, well, at least we saw him in Champ Select. It's understandable. Radix won't get to play it. Why are you so sad about Draven being banned?
I don't know. Just a big fan of the champion.
Sorry?
Just a big fan of the champion.
He's just cool?
As everyone should be.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, of course, exactly. Draven is the awesomest champion in the game. Honestly, everyone should be fans of Draven. Everyone already is fans of Draven. If you're not, you're lying to yourself. He's actually the best champion that ever existed. In fact, the league itself is named after him. It's the League of Draven.
We're going deep here.
We are going deep here. And honestly, I mean, he earns more money than everybody else for kills because his just matter more.
Uh-huh.
It's like orcs painting their truck red. They just believe it enough and
does
they
he
do
get
go faster.
Is that the recommended build?
So I love the fact that Draven has like 18 different items you could buy a second. Like everyone starts Bloodthirster, but you can go Static Shiv, you can go Last Whisper, you can go Infinity Edge, you can go Yomu's, you can go
Blade of the Rune King.
Blade of the Rune King. I mean, you could. I've seen Sword of the Divine, which hurts frickin' a lot, by the way. 3 crit Q axes is a lot of damage. You're gonna die when those happen. So Draven probably has like the most differentiated, and Trinity Force is one of them. Double lift goes Trinity Force Draven. Unfortunately, though, yeah, so Draven's cool. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see him. But, guys, just so you know what's been going on, we had a long pause. NGU actually have forfeited Game 1. We were paused when they tried to resolve their issues. Unfortunately, they could not. So
never gave up, just gave up?
They had to. It's in the rules.
Damn.
They didn't want to. Unfortunately,
they were forced to. We're
going to see what happens with Game 2, though, guys. We're going to be right back with Game 2 here between NGU and Departed. Stay tuned.